Difficult to be a Jew. It's true. To be Jewish bears a responsibility to live a Jewish life. It is one of prayer, meditation, keeping kosher, and fasting relentlessly. Silently wrestling with Hashem while striving to be better today than we were yesterday. Otherwise, we'd have no need of tomorrow. Which is great when we can forget about the struggle of Jewishness and every misplaced bit of anger that comes with that identity. When we can just stick our heads in the sand and forget about right wing politicians in Israel and paramilitary gunmen that are holding our cousins hostage. Unfortunately, I'm reminded of a quote by Yehuda Bauer that says, "Thou shalt not be a victim, thou shalt not be a perpetrator, but above all, thou shalt not be a bystander." We have 70 years of secular policy that simply hasn't worked. Radical Islam continues writing fatwas calling for our genocide as quickly as Zionists can write new talking points to defend apartheid strategies. And then there's us, the people in the middle of the conflict, from citizens that were dancing at a rave for peace to Palestinian children, both murdered, leaving their families to grieve, while internet warriors and woke bros minimize their sorrow to hate speech and talking points. They're painting us with the same brush identity politics needs to keep division alive. But all I could do for these past few weeks is hum the Nagoon and avoid the internet. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were fleeing their homes only to find the roads to Egypt and Israel closed. Israeli citizens dug through rubble searching for their loved ones while being reminded by everyone online that colonizers don't get a right to weep. So I sing the Nagoon. And I ask myself, why the Nagoon? Why is this simple tune so prolific to me? There's a legend of another Nagoon that's incredible. It's from a poem about Baal Shem Tov's Nagoon, and I'd like to share it with you because it speaks of tragedy and hope while calling to the best in us as humans, as a people covering vast tapestries of races and ethnicities, all united by the flames of Torah continuously burning on the altars of our hearts. May they never go out. Elie Wiesel shares a beautiful poem, and it's so relevant today. It takes place in a concentration camp and discusses one rabbi's journey to lead his people in accordance with the law. See, the Nazis had given the ghetto leaders 24 hours to turn over 10 Jews to be hung to avenge the deaths of the 10 sons of Haman, right? The villains of the tale. The people turn to the Reb looking for guidance. The Reb exhausts all possible human understanding before he turns to the heavenly realms to seek a solution. He doesn't want to lead the people astray, and he knows what the law says backwards and forwards. So what to do? Baal Shem Tov intercedes with the Nagoon to speak on the people's behalf and sings it to the heavenly realms, and yet still, the enemy decides all the people of the ghetto will die for their insolence. So the rabbi returns, and he teaches the people the Nagoon that was sung, and they enter into this mystical song together as a community. Now, as each bullet exits the chamber with the intent to take a soul from this place, the people are spared and disappear, returning to the infinite unknowable one in a display of mystical power. That's our highest teachings. When we Kabbalists discuss the cosmos, we all openly agree on one point. Everything is a divine union of Hashem, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. What beautiful poetry. What a beautiful rose growing from concrete. And as the Arabs say, for the sake of roses, we water the thorns. My friends, everyone we encounter is but an extension of ourselves. They are all but shards of a beautiful soul that goes back to before the shattering of the vessels, when it was just that, the primordial human we Kabbalists call Adam Kadmon. Klippot are meant to be mended. We are meant to be united. And somehow this is the perfect segue into everything I plan to return to YouTube with. But I'm not talking to my audience here. I'm speaking directly to the backbone of the Western esoteric tradition. Fellow Kabbalists, you see this for what it actually is. It's a moment of healing our collective soul so desperately needs. We can really help mend the vessels. And the world is watching. No, over the next few posts, I won't be pandering to hardcore leftists swan diving into support of an extremist organization that wants us all dead. I am painfully aware how ingrained anti Semitism is in the secular mind to be naive here. But why lead with secular minds when secular solutions haven't helped us? When Kabbalist and Sufi both have mountains of mystical knowledge we can draw from. Because if we're not turning inwards and seeking that inner guidance and drawing from our mystics of old, like the Reb in Elie Wiesel's poem, what are we doing? I say we do this the Jewish way. What do I mean by that? Reb Zalman has this beautiful practice surrounding the Shema and involves centering oneself by reciting El Melech Ne'eman 26 times as a means of grounding oneself before God, the trustworthy King. Set your intentions with Shema and add your name to Yisrael in the first go. Pray it over your being. On the second go, focus on a loved one. Pick someone who's really suffering through this war. Send them the message. Let your Shema shroud them in that holy light that shattered into humanity. Visualize them or think towards them if visualization escapes you, and feed them the same understanding you yourself were seeking. Now, on the third go, consider death as that final door we enter into before we re-enter the infinite unknowable when Kabbalists place at Keter. Reb Zalman mentions testing our merit by focusing on those who are about to enter the gas chamber. But here's my challenge. Project that understanding to the innocent lives being lost on the other side of the fence. See yourself amidst Palestinians as the airstrikes level an apartment building, praying to Shema, knowing there's no escape from certain death. So you join them in one last shout, Shema. Finally, visualize the expansion of the universe is done and Ein Sof is reabsorbing it. All the pain we've experienced is plunging into a black hole about to emerge on the other side of the coolest theoretical physics we have. As you say the Shema, imagine your voice and awareness returning into cosmic union. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Because it's that place beyond that the Kabbalist is ultimately seeking, where there is no Arab, there is no Jew, no American, no Hindu, only God is. Because that's the ultimate reality. It's non-dualism manifested in an infinite stream beyond our finite understanding. Maybe attempt this practice for 21 days and make it a habit. Pray in your own words until you can really feel it in your bones. Until you really feel that sorrow brings joy and forgiveness is key. We let go when we no longer cling to whatever identity we're given in this birth. Besides, we all chose to be here now. So how about we be here now? In our humanity that remembers, only God is. In closing, I want you to consider a metaphysical description that comes from the Sufis. Wadat ul Wujud, or unity of being. This basically means that the only truth within the universe is God, and that all things exist within God alone. Dance that around in your mind a little bit. Either way, thank you for giving me a moment of your time. Peace. Oh, Shlamalak, my friend. Auf Shukran.